Well, hello everyone, and once again, welcome back. I truly appreciate you being here. So I just seen my son Evan off on a trip that he's taken down to the Gulf Shores. It's kind of a hard thing to see your one of your kids take off for a 13, 14-hour drive. Kind of makes you feel a little vulnerable as a parent, but that's part of being a parent. You gotta let them grow up and let them go. So hope he has a safe trip and has a fun time down there. So I am losing my wingman for this weekend's festivities, but the show must go on. He's been selling a lot of bundles. We've got probably, I think I counted 8 or 9 empty IBC totes back here. And just when you think you have enough firewood, you know the old saying, there's never enough. So if you guys caught the last couple of videos, you know that Nextdoor has opened back up. So if everything goes well for me here today, I'm going to get Nextdoor before it gets hot and drop a tree and get it bucked up a little bit here this morning. We'll see how it goes. It is going to be 94 degrees by 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I'm going to see what I can get done. I thought I'd bring you all along with me. So hang in there. We're going to finally get some action done next door. Well, I was just inside there getting my boots on and some long pants, get ready for some tree felling next door, and I heard some banging and clanging out here. And when we hear banging and clanging in front of the house, that means money. Evan's already sold 4 bundles and a kindling bundle out of there. So he's making money while on vacation. I told him, since he's going to be gone now, leading up to this 4th of July weekend coming up, it'll be the busiest it's going to be. And he's got Dad, his free labor here, to tend with all of that. So I got to call him real quick and give him a hard time. All right, let's get these saws loaded and get next door, because sun's hitting me now and you can already feel that heat. So let's get going. All right, so for all of those that are new to the channel, I have been cutting right next door here to my house. You can see my house leaving in the background, and it's about a 20-second drive to where we're fortunate enough to be cutting, just to kind of bring y'all up to speed. The farmer recently purchased this land right across the house from me, and it has been very convenient to be able to come over here and cut firewood. These are all live standing trees. I don't normally like to do that. We usually try to take out problem trees or dead trees, but in this case, if we don't cut them, they're going to be bulldozed into a big bulldoze pile eventually and burned. So we might as well get some use out of them. My son Evan can make a little money off the firewood, and somebody can enjoy it around a campfire. So I just jumped in the truck, and I think the plan today is just to take one tree down. I like taking it down in small portions instead of having a huge mess, because I am driving, as you can see, through a grass area that they do bale for hay. So I like to keep it cleaned up as I go. So yeah, just to bring y'all up to speed for those of you that are new. And I think today I'm gonna pick a tree right here along the edge. You can see the big brush pile here. And just get it on the ground before it gets too hot. And if I have to come back this evening when it's a little bit cooler, that's what we'll do. So I'll spend the middle of the day doing honeydews or running errands in the air conditioning. That sounds like the best thing I can do in this kind of heat. So it is a struggle. I know those of you that do firewood go through the same thing. It's going to be in the 90s or upper 80s all week long. But as I said before, he's been selling quite a few bundles. So you got to stay ahead. Even though we've got a lot of firewood at the farm still seasoned, and we got probably 12 IBC totes still full that's ready to go at the house, you just got to do a little here and there and stay ahead. That's our plan. And we're not a high volume firewood selling. It started as a hobby, and it has continued to put money in my son's pocket and gas in his truck. So that's all we do it for, and just to have fun together. So let me stop the yapping and get out and pick out a tree, and we'll get you back. We'll get y'all back when I figure out which one I'm going to take. All right, I think I got a plan here. My intentions was to take this walnut here, and I know this brush is already starting to grow back up. My intentions was to take that walnut, but as you can see, there's a lot of foliage, and without help being here in the heat, nah. What I'm gonna do here is probably take this walnut here. It goes up, not a whole lot of foliage, and the tip of it should fall right out in here, and the brush pile is right there. So minimal dragging and not a very long distance to drag. So that's the plan. Let me get set up. We're gonna get this one on the ground, and I know what y'all are gonna say. Oh my gosh, you're cutting walnut for firewood. Well, that tree's only about 12 inches, so not a lot of sawable lumber out of it. And it's got a mark in it right up, let me get my hand right up in here where another tree was into it that I'd cut down previously. So that's the plan, little at a time. And you kind of take these down strategic. And the reason I'm able to do a little at a time is because, like I said, I'm not driving very far. So this has been a great job, because my house is literally right over there. And, well, I'm turning the wrong way. Right over there in front of where the truck's parked. So, all right, it's getting hotter by the minute. So let's get it on the ground, get it cut up. Bingo, right where I wanted it. And the brush pile is right there. So, all right, let's get set up and get limbing it up. And if I seem to be yelling a little bit, Compliments to Chris in the Woodyard for the free earplugs at the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria. I tell you what, I was wearing earmuffs before, and I know Chris wears earplugs and muffs, but I couldn't believe the difference in when I put these cheap foam expandable earplugs in my ears. Big difference over those ear muffs I was wearing. So thanks again, Chris. We got some work to do. All right, everybody, so I got it all limbed up, and this is at the point where, if you could see my shirt, it's in the 80s already. I got the brush drug here behind me, and you see me in the beginning, I threw a few pieces over there because there's still a little bit of brush in there. But this is where my common sense is kicking in now. Call a lot of us woodhounds crazy for being out here doing this, but it's just in your blood. But I do know when common sense needs to kick in here. So I'm going to leave the rest of this tree. It's already ready to be bucked up. And the brush is cleaned up. And I'm going to go home and let it cool down. So, with that being said, I'll bring you all back for that. And there's another big reason why I'm doing this. I am sweating. And if you notice, when I cut this tree, it had some vines on it. Now, that's not poison ivy, but it looks like poison oak, and I'm going to flip the camera around and show you the ground, because I am very allergic to poison ivy. And since this grass has all been mowed in here, poison ivy's taller than the grass now. So I'm going to get home and get a shower. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Poison ivy is literally everywhere. All right, so there's your 3 leaves. I know there's a lot of walnut branches on the ground, but this poison ivy is literally everywhere. Some more there, it's literally everywhere I'm walking. So all right, so this morning's goal has been met. It's time for me a shower and a glass of ice cold tea, and I'm going to do a little shopping in the middle of the day, because I've been kicking around an idea for this part, and I'm going to go see if I can make that happen, I believe. So stick with us. We'll bring it back when our glasses are straight and it's cooler. Hang in there. All right, everybody, as you can see, different t-shirt, actually a different day, but we did make it back over here to the walnut. I went ahead and brought the dump trailer. I know this isn't going to be a lot of firewood, but I thought, why not just go ahead, hook up the dump trailer, throw it in the dump trailer, and then when I go to split this wood, I can tilt it back, let it all slide back. It's at waist level to get onto the splitter, and as I split, I'll throw the splits in front of the rounds remaining in the dump trailer, and then when I go to stack it, it's at waist level to stack. So that's the plan. Yesterday afternoon turned out to be a steamy, hot mess. It never made it back into the 80s. It was in the 90s all afternoon. So I spent the middle of the day, like I said, doing a little shopping and running around with my wife. We went to lunch, all kind of stuff. So that was the better idea than standing over here and poison ivy and weeds getting sawdust stuck all over me. So we got to keep this fun, or I'm not out here in the heat doing it. So early this morning, it's 8 o'clock. It's already almost 80. But the one downfall to cutting this close to my house, I know this sun's bad. There is another house next to me, and I wanted to respect their option to sleep in, so I didn't want to really get over here and run chainsaws super early. So take you over here to the truck and show you what my shopping brought me yesterday. 1, 2, 3. Yep, I finally pulled the trigger on a new chainsaw. This is something I've been thinking about for quite a while. I will be cutting a tree down in my backyard using a lift. And I was kicking around different options. I've been talking with Jenin over at the 765 guys back and forth. I talked with Tony at Tony's Cool Tools at the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria, just getting ideas because I have no experience with a top handle chainsaw, but I am getting older. My arms from my job are getting weaker, and I thought, you know, it would be nice to have a top handle chainsaw. It's got a lanyard on the back, so when I'm up in my tree, I won't drop it. And I came up with a Stihl 194T. Now, I know there is some haters on this saw out there. I've read the reviews. I'm not going to get into all that, but I think with my experience with this social media and YouTube, there's haters everywhere, and some people just like to hate. So I can't believe all the reviews, but I'm not going to go into details on this saw. What I'm going to do is use it, and after a month or so of having it in my hand, I'll give you guys my honest opinion. As always, I'm not going to give you an opinion right now because I don't know, but I just thought it would be way easier to limb with this little saw than taking a chance of dropping my 261 out of a tree. So I will say I went to the farm supply to buy the Echo 355T. I heard a lot of stuff on the Echo that was good, but after holding both of them and picking them up, I picked the Echo up and it wanted to lean forward in my hand. It put a lot of strain right there just holding it. The Stihl was way more balanced. The braking system, clutch brake, chain brake, way sturdier on the Stihl, and it just felt like it was built a little better. So probably $75 more for this over the Echo, but I thought that $75 was well worth it. So now the 400C and the 261 has a little brother, so let's get using it. And like I said, I will let you guys know after a month or so, you know, my opinions on this saw. So let's get this bucked up before it gets any hotter. I'll probably start with that one, then go to the 261, and we'll get it loaded up. So I didn't realize you got to turn that choke off. This pops off automatically, but this part doesn't. So I need to read on that. I did say that this was the choke. It's also got a choke symbol there. I'm not sure what that's all about. And that's why I'm not doing a review right now. So, all right. So far, the only thing that I've noticed is it seems like on that little saw, I have to run the chain just a little bit looser. And I don't know if it's still breaking in, but that clutch brake seemed to be a little bit tighter on the chain. So it killed it a couple times. And I shut it off, made sure it was oiling. It was oiling, so. But I just want to get it in my hand, try it out this morning. So most of this here I would be doing with the 261, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to give the 194 a little break and just get it home, tear it apart, check into it, make sure everything's on the up and up. And you know, first time running it, I don't want to run it for a whole tree and then find out, uh-oh, I should have checked that. So let's get the 261 out and get the rest of this buzzed up. Here we go. Well, there you go. Not a ton of firewood, but a little bit every day helps. And what I decided to do, I'm gonna keep that log whole just for a little while. I always struggle with this. If I've got a good dry place to keep these logs, I'm gonna start keeping them. It's relatively straight. Let me measure the stump here. A little bigger than what I thought. You're looking at, you know, 13 3/4 that way to the bark, a little over 14 there. Now let me just sight down it for you. It's got a little curve in it, but you know what? We'll get it picked up with the tractor and save it. If I can get somebody to look at that stuff, if it's worth milling. If not, I can cut it just as easily at home as I can right here. So let's get this loaded up. Well, there you go, everybody. Not a lot of firewood in that trailer, but that's a 7x14, so you got to put quite a bit of wood in there to make it look like a lot. I'm guessing a little over 1/3 of a cord, and that's without cutting up the log there. So it's hot. I can't think of a better way to sweat out yesterday's adult beverage consumption than gathering some rounds of firewood here this morning. So, man, I appreciate y'all being here. I think that's going to be it for this one. Stay tuned. As soon as I get a good shady afternoon, I'll bring you along for the splittage of that walnut there. It's going to be some great bundle wood. So, appreciate y'all being here. And as always, if you stuck around to the end, and if you're new here, man, I appreciate you hanging in there to the end and sticking it out with me. Hopefully it was interesting enough content to keep you all the way to the end. So with that being said, so far 194 is working out great. I know I tested it on one of the hottest days that possibly could have tested it. It's got to be pushing 91 already, but it's a good test for its first test. So stay tuned on my thoughts on that, and until next time, get outside. We'll see you.